Hello everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to give a quick spoiler warning, as what I'm about to show off is part of Project Dragonforge. So again, this video contains spoilers for Project Dragonforged. I want to preface things by saying that the quotes around the finishing part of the title are there because this stage was unused, and it didn't have any concept art I could find of what it should have been. But given its layout, I believe it's safe to assume that it was either a scrapped concept version of the Frontier Caverns, or possibly a scrapped reiteration of the stage. By this I mean, the game has a tendency to reuse a handful of stage layouts. The circular area at the end of the Frontier Caverns is very similar to rooms in the Everfall and the Fiend-luring Incense rooms in Bitter Black Isle, for instance. That being said, I decided to go in a different direction and repurpose it for an idea I've had for years. I've dubbed it the Ancient Arena. I've expanded on the original idea, which was just a Colosseum themed stage with one very strong custom enemy at its center. I decided to push the idea a bit further, in terms of not only enemies, but stage presentation, decoration, use of mechanics, and loot. While I'm not done with the stage yet, I wanted to show some things off. I won't show off all of the secrets, but at the end of the video, after I give a walkthrough of the stage and talk about the idea of why I designed it the way I did, I'll also have a video of my first test run of the stage after I completed the first phase of its creation to give an idea of what to expect. Alright, now that's out of the way, let's take a little tour of the stage. Some of you may have already seen a little showcase on it from the Rift, but I wanted to go into a little more detail on things. The first thing you'll probably notice is all the rock and dirt textures, which, by the way, I got from a texture library. I'm not a stage designer, so I'm sure someone could do much better, but the general idea was that the area was built underground, but had a massive cave-in at some point and was lost to time. There were attempts to excavate, and they were successful enough that you can navigate the area, but those who entered were driven off by the fallen warriors that remained there long after death. Strangely, the closer you get to the arena, the more things are uncovered, and by the time you reach what I call the prep room and the arena itself, it's almost entirely intact. I played around a lot with oranges and browns. It wasn't intentional at first, but some textures I had wanted to use just ended up blending that way, and it provided a cool contrast with the stage's blue lighting. It's relatively samey looking in the cavern area, especially since I haven't done any decoration yet, but you'll notice an intentionally stark contrast as you reach the prep room. The rusted iron door gives way to a room carved out of stone, much like the rest of the cave, but significantly less dirty. There are stone slabs forming the floor, as well as stone and concrete benches and a work table. The walls have wooden shelves attached to them, which I plan to place some small curatives on. This room, like the rest of the stage, is lacking decoration and torches, but even still, I'm actually pretty proud of how it turned out. I used a texture library, of course, but I feel the overall design of the room is cool. The next big standout is the marble pathway. It took me some time to figure out how to get it this reflective and shiny to convey that it was marble, and I'm not 100% happy with the current result, but I still think it's pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure why I decided to go with marble, but the gist of it was that it was another source of stark contrast that stood out to the player. It felt like it created a grand entranceway for you to navigate, while also giving an idea of how prosperous this place once was. Then, of course, you come upon the arena itself. I stuck with sandstone for the base of everything because I thought it fit the Colosseum aesthetic I was going for. At this point, we're pretty much done with the tour. The stage is relatively small, and I haven't placed the loot or decorations yet like I mentioned before. There's still plenty of work to do, and I might give a rundown on the process in my very possible Project Dragonforged deep dive video, But for now, I think you guys probably want to see some of the combat planned for this stage. I hope you guys think it's cool. Take a look.